Hello, it's me again. I want to share some thoughts on a subject that I know absolutely nothing about. But then again, nobody does. And it's the nature of the universe. We know from Einstein's theory that matter is created out of energy. And we know that energy can be turned into matter, and then if matter is disintegrated, if the atom is split, the energy that made it is released, and that's the principle that we have atomic power stations and atomic weapons. So we know that there's a continuum of energy at one end and matter at the other, and there's a kind of an interchange that can happen. Whatever this stuff is, the energy matter continuum, it can exist at one end or the other end. So it can go from atoms to energy, energy to atoms, and there's an interchange. Nothing is lost during this. It's all conserved. Now, we know that we can date this universe. Scientists have estimated how old it is. But what we don't have any information about is what it was like before creation. Now I think of this universe, this physical universe, as like a chamber of a sand clock, and on the other end of the sand clock is the pre-universe, it's the pre-manifestation universe. And I sat and meditated one afternoon, and I was trying to think what it would be like to be in that pre-creation chamber of the sand clock. There would be no distance, because there would be no solid particles to measure the gap between. So space wouldn't exist. There would be, I actually thought it would be like swimming through pea soup, so that although you've got your eyes open, you can't see anything. You're just surrounded by sameness. We measure an hour or a day by rotation of the planet Earth, and the planet Earth rotates every 24 hours, so we say that's a day. But imagine a realm where there is no Earth rotating, there's no sunrise, there's no sunset. Time wouldn't mean anything. It certainly wouldn't mean what it does to us. And imagine a realm where there's no separation between different objects. Distance wouldn't mean anything. So there'd be no time and no space. So we're talking about a realm where time and space don't actually exist. Now out of that realm, if we call it a realm of energy, somehow this universe that we're familiar with came into being. And I started to think, what would be the initiative? What would be the first mover? I'm using that word on purpose. I was told that in the time of Jesus, when he used the word Father, it had two meanings. One was Father as in paternal father, and the other was another meaning first mover, which I would say is primary cause, the cause of the universe. So what could cause, let's say, energy to turn into matter? I mean, if energy was just energy, why would it bother? Why wouldn't it just stay as energy? Well, it would take some kind of an intelligent activity. And I say an intelligent activity because we don't really have the language to describe it. We can't say it's a force, because a force is a term that we use when we're trying to move matter. But since there was no matter, force wouldn't be needed. And I came to the conclusion that perhaps it was a kind of a command. It was some sort of a design format. And then I remember reading in the Bible that it said, in the beginning there was I am that I am, the Alpha, the Omega, all that ever was, all that ever will be, the beginning and the end, which has to be the basic substance that energy and matter are expressed from. So this, I'll call it the God substance, was all that existed, and then somehow it turned into the physical universe that we know. Now, in the Bible it says that in the beginning there was the I am that I am, and God spoke the word. And I started to think, what exactly is a word? And it's fascinating me. A word is a sound, and a sound carries a vibration, and the vibration carries a meaning. So if there was a complex meaning transmitted through this energy, call it an energy field, it could actually encourage the energy to take on the various shapes of atoms, molecules, compounds, all the known universe. I'm told that the word amen comes from the word om, which is supposed to be the creative vibration. And yogis tell us that if we study the sound om, it leads us back to the creator. Well, I guess if it's coming from the creator or the creative, it would do. And then I started to think about this subject of dimensions, and I'm told by all the cutting edge scientists that the universe has got at least 11 dimensions, if not 22, and that we only see 3D. We see 3D and we assume that's all there is, but there's actually more than that. And I started to think, well, what exactly is a dimension? And I realised that height is from below to above, width is from side to side, and depth is from near to far. Now that gives us 3 sets of parameters, and if I was a mind giving out instructions and I wanted construction to be obeyed, I'd have to set parameters. I'd have to say, well, I want it 3 feet wide, 3 feet high, and 3 feet deep. And then I might give out some instructions on shape. So I would need another dimension to input those parameters. And then I might want to put in information about weight, or mass, or spin, or any one of a dozen different qualities that it takes to construct an atom. Now if I've got enough channels set up, it would then be possible for me to input some parameter measurements, and I could actually give out the design format for basic atoms. So then the energy, I'm calling it energy, but we don't really know what it is, would receive some kind of instruction, presumably from itself, and I think it would be like playing charades or something, where half the energy got to be boss and the other half of the energy got to act out what the boss said. In Chinese medicine we talk about yin and yang, we talk about the active principle and the receptive principle, and I think that actually sums it up somehow. I'm going to stop now because I've got a timer running and I see that I can't load too big a file, so I'm going to stop now. Thank you for listening. This is part 1. I'm going to do a part 2, surprisingly.